Hi, everybody. I am trying something new for some lessons. This is a program that I used in college called Screencastify, and I kind of forgot about it until e-learning, and I got a reminder from another teacher, and so I'm actually excited to use it again. So bear with me while I'm getting used to it again. But what I was going to do was create different videos for each of the days. But I realized I was like, with the metric system, it's all the same pattern. It's just different base units. So if I do one lesson for those for the metric system, it will cover conversions, length, weight, and capacity because they all follow the same pattern. And what we have to do is we just have to get that pattern down. Now, to help us get the pattern down of the metric system, we've got different videos here. This is another new thing that I found out about, Edpuzzle. So you can click on these videos and it will take you to, these assignments, and it'll take you to videos. And some of them have questions without them to help guide your learning, kind of like what we would do in school. And I think that is really cool. And another cool feature about Edpuzzle is that I can see how much time is being spent on these videos. And so it really shows me who is putting in full effort and who is really taking their time to understand the concept. I do understand that this is something that we learned last week, so some of you may not need to look at these, but based on some of the scores, we'll want to look at them. So there's this vocabulary one. This one is a song that's going to get stuck in your head. I promise, because it's stuck in mine. And then there is this Math Antics video. I absolutely love Math Antics because it's this guy who does these kind of goofy things and has these different analogies to help you better understand concepts. I've showed you him before, but I really like this one because throughout it, it stops and asks you questions to make sure that you are understanding what he is saying, much like I would do in school. There's this one. And then there's this one that I put on here as well, that it's the story of King Henry. And the story of King Henry is just a way for you to be able to better understand the metric staircase that I'm about to show you and that you have seen in Compass. Now, I'm just going to go into the metric conversions one because this is going to cover kind of everything. And so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go into the resources to show you this, and our lesson is going to kind of stem from there, and then I'll move over to the homework to show you what that'll look like. Having this video over here is so distracting me, I keep wanting to look over. At the top here, there are different resources for you to go look at if you need some more help. But don't forget that I am always here to help as well. These resources just kind of help you guys get started and for me to jump in and add that extra help. Okay. But you can always ask to video chat me and be like, I just really need help, Snitzer. I'm so confused. Because sometimes I can just be magic and say it this one way and you're like, oh, I get it now. Other times it's still like, what? So we'll make it work. Even though we're still doing e-learning for the rest of the year, I think that we are going to be able to persevere through it, every last one of us, and me included. And we'll be able to get through it through those video chats and to help with concepts and all of that fun stuff. So I think we're going to be just fine, guys. Now, after that little side note, squirrel, we are going to go down here. And this is the resources that I really wanted to show you. And so this is what I was going to give you in class to kind of help. So this says King Henry died unusually drinking chocolate milk. But this can also, I'm going to grab my pen. It'll be easier to write. But so the King Henry died unusually drinking chocolate milk can also be said as King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. You'll hear both of them. And so what that means is the U is for unit and the B is for base. So we can kind of put those together as the base unit. And if you think about words and how you have this base word that we add prefixes and suffixes and other roots onto it, it's the same thing for the metric system. We've got our base unit. So an example of a base unit for length is meter. An example of a base unit for capacity is liter. Example of a base unit for weight is gram. And so these are our base units that we start off, and then we are going to add prefixes to these words to decide if to show that a word is 10 times or 100 times or 1,000 times greater or smaller than that base unit. Now I'm going to use meters as an example in just a moment. So we've got our units here, and then we've got deca, hecto, kilo on this side. This is our side that our units of measure are going to be greater than our base unit. And then this is the side where our units of measure are going to be smaller than our base unit. So if you think about it, a meter, think of like a meter stick. It's very big. And then if you think about a centimeter, it's maybe about this big. So when we are converting from like meters to centimeters, we're going to have more centimeters than that are in that 1 meter. So it's going to get smaller because we have smaller units of measure. It'll make more sense once we get to it and once you watch those videos. So say we have 50 meters. Get my new pen. It's one of my favorite colors. We have 50 meters, and we are trying to turn 50 meters into so many centimeters, and I'm going to draw right on there. This is so nifty, guys. But I'm going to move down here for a second before we continue there. This is the conversion chart, and this is a way that can help you better understand the movement when you're going from meters to centimeters. So we've got kilo that is 1,000 times greater than our base unit. We've got hecto that is 100 times greater than our base unit. We've got deca that is 10 times greater than our base unit. And you can see that up here as well, 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times larger. Now we've got deci that is 1/10 of our base unit, or 10 times smaller than our base unit. We've got centi that is 1/100th smaller than our base unit, or 100 times smaller than our base unit. And we've got milli that is 1,000th smaller than our base unit, or 1,000 times smaller than our base unit. And it says here, to convert to a smaller unit, so if you're going from meters to centimeters, which we are, if you're going to from the base unit to a smaller unit, so to one of these guys, you're going to move the decimal place to the right. I hope that's going the right way for you guys. To the right, or multiply by those powers of 10. And then down here, if you're going from the base unit to a larger unit like kilos, you are going to move that decimal point to the left or divide. So you'll be moving the staircase to the right side for the decimal point, or multiplying or dividing. So I'm going to move back up here to make more for us to be able to see it better. So we're going from 50 meters. I'm going to get a different color. We're going from 50 meters to centimeters. So we want to figure out how many centimeters are in 50 meters. Now, are we going to a bigger unit or a smaller unit? Smaller. So because we're going to a smaller unit, we are going to multiply or move that decimal place to the right. And we can move that decimal place to the right because we are working with powers of 10. And when we're working with powers of 10, that's just showing how many place values we're going to move over. If it's 10 times larger, you're going to move the place value over once. If it's 2 times smaller, you're going to move the place value over twice. 100 times smaller. Brain, guys, you're going to move it over twice. If it's 1,000 times smaller, you're going to move it over 3 times because you're moving over 3 place values. So how many times are we going to move this decimal? Remember, our decimal in a whole number is always at the end. How many times are we going to move that decimal place to the right because we are moving to a smaller unit? 2. Very good. Because you're going from the unit to the right one 2 times. So I'm going to do the same thing over here, and I'm going to write it differently. So if we've got 50, and we've got our decimal point here, and we're moving it over 2 times. 1, 2. So there is our new decimal point, and I'm going to erase it to even show you. Well, just 1 second. I'll erase it in just 1 second. Now, I'm going to test your knowledge a little bit. We have 2 places over here. that are just, hanging out. What do we put there? Zeros. Good. So we're going to put zeros there. And we've got our new decimal point here. So now I'm going to erase. Sorry, guys. So now, how many centimeters are in 50 meters? 5,000. Now, is it just 5,000? What do we need at the end? What do we always need at the end when we're measuring? Or when we're talking about any story problems, really? A label. So we've got 5,000. Don't forget our comma. Centimeters. Boom. So there's the first part of our lesson for right now. It's so much more difficult to do this over the computer. I get it. But we're making it work, right? What I'm going to do now is I'm going to move over to your Monday or your 420 assignment. And this is what all of your assignments are going to end up looking like. So you're going to tell us whether you're going to multiply or divide by going that way here. And you can use your resources, but there is a hint page right here to help you. It's got the staircase and it has that reminder. So this top part, you're going to say, you're going, for example, from kilometers to decimeters. Are you going to multiply or divide? Are you going from big to small or small to big? So we've got kilometers and decimeters. I'm going to get out my pen. I'm going to, kilometers is here. And decimeters is smaller than our base unit. So it's going to be on this side. So we are going from here to here. Are we going from big to small or small to big? Big to small. So to convert a large unit to a smaller unit, you're going to multiply by 10. So what is our answer for this one? Multiply. And I'm even going to type in there. Multiply. And you're going to do that for all of these. You've got different base units for weight, capacity, and length. Now, then on here, you're going to do the conversions, just like we did a minute ago on the other page. This one we've got going from grams to milligrams. You want to look at that prefix, the milli. So you're going to go back here and look. I'm going to clear this out. We are going from grams, which is a base unit, to milligrams. Are we going from big to small or small to big? You're going from big to small. So now it says when we're going from big to small, the large unit, you're going to multiply by 10 for each step, or you're going to move the decimal over that many place values for each step. So I'm going to get a different color, and we're going to figure out how many steps we're taking. Down, 1, 2, 3. We're taking 3 steps down, so we need to move that decimal point over 3 places. So I'm going to go back here. And we've got 10 grams. And we've got our decimal point at the end. I'm going to make it extra big to remind you that it's there. And we need to move it to the left, that decimal point to the left. How many times? 3. So I'm going to move it over 1, 2, 3. And our new decimal point goes here. Now we cannot forget to add these zeros back in. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to erase these so that it looks neater for us. Now don't forget what we learned about place value before. Every 3 place values, there needs to be a comma. 1, 2, 3, comma. So how many milligrams are in 10 grams? Very good, 10,000 milligrams. And that is what you're going to be doing each day. We're just going to get that extra practice to make sure that we really, really understand. I hope this helps, and don't forget that you can always reach out to me if you're still kind of stuck or you need some extra practice with me there before you feel super extra confident. Don't hesitate to reach out to me, okay? I miss you all, and this actually kind of worked really well, and I'm super excited about it. Okay, have a great day. Enjoy math this week. Bye.